Greetings, everybody. In front of you is your favorite TV host, Ilona, the celebrity TV host. And we are here to let you know that we are changing lives, one story at a time. And we know, and I tell it to everybody, we cannot become great alone, and nobody makes it to the moon without a team. So we need to have each other. And today we're going to speak about the community and the strength of the community and what it does to us and how we can be also part of the community that can become a family to all of us. And I have in front of me an amazing guest. Not just a guest, but also a family, a community, the leader of this place, the captain from the Salvation Army, Captain TJ. And we want to welcome him today and have him share more that he is about to share with you guys. Hi, Captain TJ. How are you today?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, lots of respect, first of all, to the Salvation Army and to the work that you guys do. So you are not just an officer, and for those who doesn't know what the officer or captain means, it's a pastor.
Yes.
You are the pastor that also wears too many hats. Can you please share with us how many hats do you wear?
A ton. You know, my first hat really is a follower of the Lord, of Jesus Christ. But I'm a husband and a father to three. I have a set of twins, Elena and Elliot, who are 7 and full of life and energy, and Amelia, who is just larger than life, you know. And yeah, you've met her, so
Yeah.
she's amazing. But from preaching on Sunday to scrubbing toilets during the week to youth programs, we are engaged in many different activities of service, really, to people. So while there are many hats, it really is a privilege to serve in those capacities.
I do understand that being a servant, we also need to make sure that we are fed, we are taken care of, though, right? We have the people that support us. And you have a lot of people in this community that also don't know what the Salvation Army is. What do you guys do? Could you please share with us what is the Salvation Army and what do you do in a community? What is your bigger role and a mission for all of us?
Yeah, Salvation Army was born out of this idea to meet people where they are, in the hard things and the difficult circumstances, going to people and meeting that human need, motivated by the love of Christ. So the Salvation Army really is for anyone and everyone. We exist to proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ, but in a way that is not forcing people or saying you have to believe what we believe in order to receive a service. Oftentimes that question doesn't come up. We don't really care what your lifestyle is. Our desire is to see that if you're hungry, that we'll feed you. If you need shelter, that we'll help you get that. And really helping families not be so dependent on services, but help them overcome generational poverty. So as one who understands what that is, living in homeless shelters, with parents who are filled with addiction and those kind of things and violence, and watching my children overcome that generational poverty and be able to flourish in school, in gymnastics, in soccer, experiencing new friendships in really healthy ways. And we want to see that for everyone we come in contact with, everyone who comes through our doors. And sometimes people just need a lot of hope.
Yes.
And we can help bring that to them.
Yeah, and for those who doesn't know, I'm gonna spoiler alert a little bit. When I come to your church, to your community service, right, to your services, to the facility, it does feel like love, like a family. I believe that it takes a lot from the leader, which is you, that sets this the tone, the energy, right? This message to the employees how to be treated and how to treat those who are entering into your facility. When I come to your services or the programs with the children, we're so happy, we feel welcome, and you know, it feels like a family, of course, and your love and your care with your wife that you do, and your children, of course, they always cling to us.
Yeah.
Just amazing energy, and it does let me know that you are just the humans that filled with a purpose, with a mission, that following the Christ, and it's not easy, it's always costly. So what is the one thing that cost you to follow Jesus?
So Claudia's parents, my wife's parents, mine are deceased, but her parents live in Chicago, and being so far away from them as they're aging, as they're nearing retirement, not being able to be as accessible, Because I love her parents to death, and I will do anything, helping around the house, giving money, whatever. And it's hard to do that when you're so far away. And our children not having access to their grandparents and begging us, can we move back with grandma and grandpa? Can we go closer? Can we move, you know? And so that becomes challenging. There's a cost to immediate family because we are missionaries of sorts, going to a place that we didn't choose for ourselves. So it can be, even as a married family unit, there's moments of loneliness. There's no other way around it. You know, the great thing is meeting people like you and your children, where we get a taste of home, people who are genuine, who are hospitable, who are honest. Nothing's harder than a fake person. And so it's nice to be with people who will love you and tell you like it is. You know, that's the kind of people we like to surround ourselves with, even when it is difficult. But it's worth it. You know, it's worth it serving people who have even less. You know?
Amen to that. Okay, I invited you here for the mission, and the mission is that you have so many things to offer to our community. You have so many programs that most people don't even know about you. I want you to take this moment and pretty much dive in and share with everything that you have to offer, especially holidays coming in. It's a season to give. People are looking for places, and also there's a lot of loneliness is going to be happening around the holidays. So how can you as a Salvation Army and you as a pastor meet the need to our community? Please share with your programs.
Yeah, so overall, we want people to have a place of community. You know, it's hard to live life alone. So we're trying to create men's life groups and women's life groups for children from 0 to 29. I know that's a let's say children's young adults, but so we do have our youth programs on Wednesday nights where we serve a hot meal. We lead children through music instruction, from guitar and piano and brass, dance, art, and we try to get it all in. Free instruction, so it's no cost to them. If they're engaged, they get to take an instrument. We'll buy them an instrument, so we'll fund it for them. So there's no cost to the parents at all. We also want to reach the middle school, because that's another group that usually doesn't have a place. And so on Thursday nights from 5 to 7, again, they get a free meal, and they're welcome to come. No strings attached. You just show up and be involved in a community of like-minded individuals who just love kids. Same on every other Thursday, we serve a high school population with Breakfast Club. So we have like 97 to 100 high schoolers come get breakfast and hear a message, get support. We ask them questions about what's coming up and find ways we can support them as they not only go through high school, but graduate. So there's a lot of employment within the Salvation Army worldwide. So from engineers to architects to nurses, there's really a spot for everyone. Naturally, we want to meet every basic human need. So a lot of people are familiar with like food pantry or food shelves, as well as rental assistance and either getting gas vouchers to get to work, these kinds of things, but also engage in Pathway of Hope, which is to help families meet their goals to, again, overcome poverty for their children. They may be in it, and they may not ever get out of it, but there's an opportunity to get their children out of it so they can have success in school or in trade or do whatever God has planned for them, helping them to get there. Again, all of this is motivated by the love of Christ, and we want to see people reach their full potential, whatever that may be, with the Lord, and help them overcome all the barriers as prices go up, as things become more expensive. Holiday season, as you mentioned, is coming up, so people are wondering where they're going to get their toys or where they're going to get new coats. As a kid growing up and having to play with the offhand action figure or cut stuff out to have it, it's so rewarding to see kids. Here's a brand new toy. Here's extra. If they come to me, I'll definitely give extra. I just can't help it. And you can't leave here with nothing. But that brand new coat, kids light up. But more important, their parents have a little relief. You know, giving them a little extra, and we try to sneak it so that it's from mom and dad.
Of course.
You know, don't say it's from Salvation Army. It's from you. We're enabling and empowering you to demonstrate to your children that you love them. So we do have Sunday services that all ages are welcome to come, from Sunday school, from the little biddies. I think my turn to do nursery is coming up, so I love with the little kids and being with them, to our oldest person, in their 80s, where they're just sharing their wisdom. But it really isn't a place where we expect something from people, but rather I want to know people's story.
Yeah.
I want to know where they come from. I want to be enriched and be blessed by the knowledge they can impart, always wanting to learn more, and seeing how we can be a catalyst for change for people.
Okay, you have like a big things is coming up. You mentioned about the toy drive and also the coat drive. Can you please share with us the dates that you're going to have that? And also you have another opportunity for the community to employ them with the kettles. So could you please also share where they can come, call, because you guys have a opportunity to employ them, right? They will be probably interested. So please take this moment and also share anything that you want to share about these 3 events.
Yeah, so the closest one is the Trunk or Treat. So everyone should come to that. Yeah. It's on October 25th from 5 to 7. I'm trying to remember all my times. And we have various church people come with their candy and fun. Hopefully it's outside. Last year it wasn't because of the weather, but hopefully it's outside. Bounce House and Batman will be there with his Batmobile. It's going to be great. We're currently accepting new coats. And very, very, very gently used. Yes. If it's not looking new, we won't give it. We'll give it to a thrift store or something, but we want to make sure kids get something that's really brand new. So our coat distribution is taking place now. We will do, I don't have the exact date, but it's going to be somewhere in early November where we'll just do the distribution. But you can go to our Facebook page or go to salvationarmynorth.org to find out more information, or you'll be able to call us and I'll get you the information. But our kettle kickoff, which is our biggest fundraiser for the year, begins November 16th. So we have like 33 days to raise $308,000.
Wow.
So we are hiring drivers. Yes. We're hiring people who will simply stand outside and say Merry Christmas and hello. No one has to ask anyone for money. You don't have to solicit in that way, but just say hello to people. And you'll help us raise much needed funds to pay staff, keep the doors open, provide services. If you have a job and you just want to ring with your family, have a fun event, a couple hours, if you go to registertoring.com, people can sign up for 2-hour slots as volunteers. And they can, I know a lot of families go out and have fun.
Yes.
You're doing music or bringing their dog or whatever, and just having a good time. And you're also bringing much needed funds into the community. And so the money brought into those buckets goes back into the community almost entirely. There's a portion that goes to support service to help us all year long.
Yes.
But most of it is right here in the community.
Yeah, you guys are givers. Salvation Army is a giver, so you guys do so much. And most people don't even see, and much people don't even see it. And that's why one of the reasons for me to have this program, to bring awareness, to let our community to be engaged with what you do. And what I like that you meet human needs without discrimination, without age, without colors, without background, without anything. You don't even ask. You just simply share, give, provide, and support the family. And that's what I like about the ministry that you guys are involved with. So let me ask you this question. William Booth, 1865, he founded the Salvation Army. It was a different name at that time. And he started the ministry for those who were outcasts. Nobody wanted them in churches. Nobody wanted them in families, right? And one day, he gave a one-word sermon. He made only one word. I'm not going to quiz you on that.
I'm searching the memory bank.
I'll give you the answer, don't worry. He gave the one-word sermon. He stood up, he said this word, he left. That word was others. So my question to you is, if William Booth was alive today, what one-word sermon would he give today to our communities?
Oh, that's a good question. That is a good question. If he was alive today,
because he was a servant heart, he based the Salvation Army for soup, soap, and salvation.
yeah,
Pretty much meet the basic needs before, and then before you give them spiritual food, we need to feed them physically so they'll be able to listen. So I'm just curious, what do you think? Because we are involved with the social media trap, a lot of self-poor images around, that we portray, lots of media involvement, lots of disruption. So what do you think he would say today with one word?
based off what I read, obviously I've never met the man, but I think the only person who was able to change his mind really was Catherine Booth.
Yes.
She was just no nonsense based off the books I've read. I would say he would probably keep the same word. I think what I love about the Salvation Army and still love is that we have access to people who need us the most.
Yes.
More importantly, need Jesus the most.
Yes.
And it lines up well biblically to put others over self. So love the Lord your God and love others as you would love yourself. And the others isn't your friends, isn't your neighbors, isn't people you like. It's those who are strangers.
Yes.
The transliteration is stranger, the one who's not from the land. And I love that idea that someone walks in and I'm like, our whole staff, we're all like, what can we do to make life easier?
Yes.
So people who walk in who are unhoused and don't have a place to go, then we build their box of food around not being able to cook it, or find ways to help them get there. Have them just hang out. Well, I'll go back and cook you something. So that we can help them the next space. Ultimately, we don't want people coming week after week after week needing the same level of help,
Yes.
but rather be a beneficiary of support to give back. So we want them to be self-sufficient and to thrive in that area.
Yes.
But oftentimes the hard things are so close, you can't see the great things that God has for you.
Yes.
They're too big, it's too impossible. Why would God love me? Why would anyone care? And our job is to help them understand the truth, that they are precious, that they are loved, that they're made in God's image. And someone did that for me.
Yes.
My hope is that I can teach my kids to do that, and I can do that for others until the Lord calls me home. So I would say, after thinking about all the words, he would probably keep the same word.
I probably would agree
Others.
with you. I was about to say that. I think he probably would keep the same, because knowing how stubborn in a good way and focused, I would say focused. When he's focused, he was stubborn. He would not let anything to disturb him or distract him with what he was focused on. And I believe that he probably would have said the same word message. He was so strong, and this sermon was very effective. Lots of communities, lots of preachers, when I read the books, they quote him and lots of the things that he has done. So let me ask you this question, right? We talked about the community, we talked about ministry, we talked about the services, the programs that you have. What about you as a pastor? Where do you get your food from, your spiritual food?
That's, again, great question. I'm a pretty open book, so there's always like the right answer. That one, over the years, is hard. It's difficult. I don't hear a lot of sermons on Sunday because I'm always giving them. My wife doesn't either because she's with the kids, the kids' church and trying to help with the children. So some years are easier than others, and I'm reminded from spiritual mentors, hey, you need to spend time. I'm like, what does that look like in a practical sense with my kids, helping them read, helping them learn at the core, doing things. And people say, yeah, you got to take time for yourself. And I'm like, where do I take the time to do that? But lately, I have been focused on 3 things the Lord has kind of laid on my heart.
Yes.
One is being physically healthy,
Yes.
like really spending time walking, at the same time being engaged in my spiritual life. So I listen to sermons, I am listening to the Word of God, and right now I'm seeing what that passage is instructing me to do, what that passage is convicting me about what I'm not doing. Then I ask the Lord what he wants me to do within this passage, and then I pray that he helps me to live out a specific command within that and spend time doing that. And the last thing is it has to do with the mind, education. So I'm, as we talked about earlier, engaging in Spanish. It's difficult, but it's fun. You know, I want to be able to communicate with others, and so my wife's going through Revelation, really, really deep study of that, and we spend time talking about what it is and what it's not, and what we should do and what the Lord's having us do. So we try our best to take our Sabbath on Friday. We go for a walk with our dog, probably 3 or 4 miles, and we talk for those couple hours about where are we in our walk, where are we together, where are we with our kids, spending time connecting in that way. But I think it's important as missionaries in a field, or officers or pastors or whoever, to have people you can call on who will hold you accountable, who will say, hey, you need to do this. I'll come watch the kids. I'll be there. Like, we have a couple people who do that. But we are doing our best to always draw close to the Lord. And it may look different from season to season, right? Kettles is coming up. It's going to be a really busy time. So that early morning is not going to be an option. So I have to do it like in the middle of the day, but guarding that time.
Correct.
So right now I'm in an okay place. It's not always that way. And I always need a kick in the butt, a reminder. But I got some people around who help me get there.
Yeah, that's very important, because knowing that we cannot pour from the empty cup, right? Sometimes we become the bankrupt, like spiritual bankrupt. We give without getting anything in return in the dividend, and nothing grows in us, right? And that's when we become stressed, depressed, we want to give up, quit, and more in our lives. So let me ask you this question, the next question, like, Captain TJ, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, ¿y tú?
Oh, muy bien, muchas gracias. Mira, your Spanish is not that bad. At least we started somewhere.
A little bit. It does help that Claudia's parents both speak Spanish.
Yes,
So I love the language, and there's so many people in the world who speak Spanish.
Absolutely.
You know, and so I just want to, I'm going to get there.
Yeah, great. You will. It always takes the time and effort and the focus and discipline. And I usually, this is in my vocabulary, this is how I translate the discipline. Discipline is doing something you don't want, doing something you don't like, doing something you don't feel like it. So, but if you have a good cause while you're doing it, you can overcome that, and it becomes the part of your habit in the future. Because who wants to do the exercise? Do you feel like exercising? No. Do you like exercising? No. Do you want to exercise? No. But you have a goal. And that's my definition of the discipline, pretty much. So, when you were preaching, you mentioned your relationship and your story about your dad. Can you briefly share with us about before he passed away, what had happened? How did you reconcile with him? But what happened before that you had to reconcile with him? Briefly, because I know there's lots of people out there. They believe, majority, that life of the pastor is a crystal clear and it's a perfect, without understanding the damage that we go through, the heat, that bruises that we have, emotional pain. So they will get connected and letting them know we are the same people, the same level. Who chose to follow God's mission to serve you. So could you please share with us?
Yeah, I'll back up a smidge. So, because my mother died before my father did, and she was diagnosed with HIV. I discovered that when I was 12, and I became, during my high school years, a primary caregiver for her medication and driving her to all the doctor things. Her and my stepdad, who's my dad, you know, they had a pretty toxic relationship, a lot of violence, drinking at parties, kicking us out, and then taking us back, and, you know, back and forth with those kinds of things. But when she died, a month before I graduated high school, a month after my birthday, he wasn't a good guy prior. It was it was very difficult to just be around. But after she died, he softened. We never had a conversation about it. I was trying to figure out how to do life. You know, I had a phone bill in my name I didn't know about it, horrible credit, didn't know, trying to go to school full time and work full time and grieve my mother and figure out what to do with her ashes. So I was kind of figuring it out. And so after a while, the Lord, I married my wife, who was my high school sweetheart. We went to the training college seminary. And again, my dad continued to kind of soften when I talked to him. I can't remember a time where he actually said he loved me, where he said, hey, I'm really proud of you. I love you. But I believe that he did. I believe he did love me. He was proud of me. Yeah. Of his kids, I think 6, 7 of us, I was the only one who can drive his Mercedes for prom. So I was like, obviously I'm the favorite. But he ended up also dying around 2010. And I never shared the gospel with him. I never talked to him about the Lord. I wasn't even thinking about it. So I felt so much guilt that I didn't share the love of Christ with him. And I asked the Lord if he would give me some peace, some sign on where maybe he is, or just something. So my sister, who we didn't get along at all, especially after my mom died. We were just butting heads no matter what. She didn't like my wife now, girlfriend at the time, and I was on her side, my wife's side, girlfriend at the time. She ended up calling me and said, hey, can I come to the college because I need you to sign some paperwork? And I was like, yeah, because I was one of the beneficiaries and I got to sign it for his funeral. She shows up, I let her in, and I sign the paperwork. She goes to leave and she says, hey, by the way, let me show you something on my phone. And she showed me a picture of my dad, and my dad was not religious. He did not go to church. He never prayed. He never talked about God, nothing. But he's laying in his hospital bed before he died, praying, like looking up and just laying there praying. Show me a little video of it. I've never seen my dad pray, and it was confirmation to me, because I hardly ever asked the Lord for a sign. I think I'll submit to you, Lord. You tell me where you want me to go. And I just was grasping at straws here. And he gave me that. And I believe my father turned to Jesus in the last hours of his life. So whatever gambling or wickedness he used to do, and violence and beating my mother and all these different things, I believe he was forgiven, and I forgave him for all those things. Now, small connection, fast forward from that moment, 10 or 12 years, I was doing a 23andMe DNA test, and I found my birth father, so whose name is Daniel Simmons, and I was like nervous to call him, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to. Do I want to bring this into my kid's life? And I did, and I met with him. I tested it out to see if my kids should even call him, right? Because they don't know. They don't know he's grandpa or whatever. So, but yeah, I've been talking to him since I was 32. I'm 36 now, so for 4 years we've met. We've done Thanksgiving, done Christmas. The kids call him grandpa. So where there's loss, there's also like new life. That does happen. He doesn't replace, but he's an addition to, right? And he's meeting me in my 30s, so it's not the parental relationship, but we're building a friendship and we're getting there, right? So hard things will happen, impossible things will happen, but when you place your trust in Jesus, great things can take place.
Thank you for sharing this story. And one of the things that people don't realize, or we don't even realize, that it's okay to have a story. It's okay to bring that up and become like emotionally naked in front of the people, to let them know that, because we build the barriers in front of us between each other, between that side and this side, we're not as holier than the person who, let's say, gambles. Right. We are not maybe more saint than the person who beats up the wife. But when anyone without Christ is lost, is a lost sheep. So let's take this moment, Captain TJ, and I want you to look at your camera and speak to the one person, like right now, who is struggling to get a hope, especially during the season of giving and holidays. How would you want to encourage him, and how would you want to inspire him right now?
I would say to take a really deep breath, and when you feel life is difficult, when you feel like it's impossible, where you feel lonely or anxious and depressed, to know you have a God who loves you, above all, who died for you, who has raised the Salvation Army up to be a tangible hands and feet of Christ, where you won't experience any judgment, where you will experience love. We will, if you have children, we will embrace your children. My kids will immediately play with them, and you'll quickly find a place where you belong. Even if you have a different faith community, a different set of religious beliefs or different lifestyle, you are welcome at the Salvation Army, and God will make a way for you to realize, again, not only your full potential, but your children. And so if I had to give you one word, like William Booth, my word would be hope. My word would be undoubtedly hope. Put your hope in the Lord, to don't give up on humanity, to engage with your community. And we at the Salvation Army can be that for you. And we're located on Noble Parkway at 10011 Noble Parkway in Brooklyn Park. You can also call us, and we will be there for your family during the holidays, when it's quiet, during the time where it's most difficult in the new year, where you may feel alone. We will be there. Our doors are open. So I would say, place your hope in the Lord, and we will help you get there.
Thank you for this beautiful message. I believe, and my goal is to connect the communities back to you and you to the communities, so we can build the bridges, we can build the hope, we can restore what was lost in here, and we can be a provision for the humanity, and letting them know, hey, despite of the social media fight out here, despite of the so much competition that is going on with the self-images, that the one essential things that are there, it's still human connection.
Yep.
No one can replace that. No games out there, no next iPhone edition, or Skype or Zoom. It's a human necessity that God had provided to us. So thank you so much for allowing our families to feel it, believe it, and hopefully to come and get connected. We will be replaying it so people will be able to get connected and be part of your big family and your big vision. So did we miss anything else that you would like to share with us, or leave, or did we miss anything that you would like to add more?
Yeah, I don't know if we missed anything per se. I always like to end with, the Salvation Army exists to share the love of Christ,
yes,
to meet human need in His name without discrimination. So just remembering that when you, whatever you may need, even if it's something that's so off the wall, whatever request it may be, and you need it, come to the Salvation Army. And if you have it to give, come to the Salvation Army, because there's people who would benefit from that blessing. So I think if we work together, all walks of life, all ages, we can totally make a difference in our community.
And just to let you know, guys, when you come to this place and you want to be part of also volunteering, you will feel a part of the family right away. You will be met with a smile, with a hug. They will plug you in right away. They will make you feel so welcome, so valued. Because there's a saying that says that people go where they feel welcomed, but they stay where they feel valued. And you will feel valued right away, that you will not want to leave that place, because you will feel right away as a part of the family. So today I want to challenge you and also encourage you to get up and get the hope. The season of giving is coming, and the season of taking is also coming. The season of hope is rising up. We need healing, we need hope, we need love, we need faith, we need provision. We just need to put a smile. One family at a time, one kid at a time, and one adult at a time, because we are here to thrive as a community, because there's a word unity in a community where everyone is welcome and everyone